just need to shoot a few more unlucky bastards, and done. Us two merry mercs can finally have some shore leave. Where are you hoping we dock? How about Ganymede? Fresh veggies
And
from the
number
dome.
one, we're giving you basically Mass Effect's hard science fiction realistic cousin here, minus the flirting. I mean, Owlcat's taking the Expanse universe and making it playable, third-person RPG, political factions, zero-gravity combat, and choices that actually matter. You even get a twin companion here who will tag you along or stab you in the back depending on your calls in the game. And the gunfights look amazing. The stations are feeling different, alive, and the world building is just pure Expanse here. Grounded, brutal, and gorgeous. If you've been starving for a real story-driven space RPG that isn't just inventory management in a vacuum, this might be your next obsession.
I said I'm tired of drinking with Luciana. She remembers too much and me too little. Forget series then. My suggestion? Eros.
Fallen leaves return to their roots. You shall gather the souls that stray. I've watched over this city for ages, and every name in your scroll of death. Not one of
Sword of Legends, on the other hand, is a fourth main game in the Gaijin series. It's sliding in straight from China as a single-player action RPG that mixes Souls-like boss fights with story-led missions and lots of side quests here. You play as a underworld enforcer in this new game, guiding the characters sometimes by kicking heads in, attached or not. And the combat looks to be flowing with just combos and parties, dodges, and a lot of souls, of course, with your companions' help. This game is set in a dark myth-inspired realm, blending Souls action with Chinese folklore. It's super violent, inventive, with probably moments that you're not gonna forget anytime soon. Check it out, it's coming to PC with no release date just yet.
the living cast their dead to flame, and sacrifice ignites the war banners!
Active Matter, on the other hand, is hitting early access soon, and it's basically Tarkov's meet Titanfall with all that wall running in action. You step into these unstable quantum zones where dimension-bending active matter is up for grabs, and every firefight demands acrobatics as much as aim, meaning you gotta slide, wall run, and vault through dimensions and battlefields while outsmarting your enemies, which, by the way, you can go PvP or PvE here. It's realism-focused gunplay meets over-the-top movement with maps designed to keep you disoriented but then at the same time engaged. The game does have a closed beta version out on the publisher's store with a full Steam release next year. Son of Thanjai, in case you missed it here, takes you back to the 11th century South India, right in the heart of Chola Empire. You step into the life of a king torn between duty, betrayal, and the heavyweight of legacy, and it's got combat that's just built around a whip sword that blends style with just pure brutality inspired by, the Indian stuff. You can ride horses, elephants, and even bulls while switching between stealth and full-on cinematic, temples, folk music, and lots of Indian traditions here, giving the game a cultural richness rarely seen in, fantasy setting. It's a pretty decent mix of history, intrigue, and action.
Rampant pollution has depleted.
Imagine stepping into a world that doesn't play by the rules. That is Project Bloomwalker. Dimensions are going to be shifted on your feet, colors and physics are going to be bending, and the more you explore, the stranger this game is going to get. This is equal parts puzzle and survival with subtle hints of a story hiding behind the environment. You might walk through a hallway that suddenly loops back into itself, or a forest that grows around you. The combats and interactions are never predictable here. Adaptation isn't optional. The game feels alive, almost breathing with every choice you make. It's not just a game, obviously, it's an experiment, more like a world that tests your curiosity and keeps pulling you even.
But in Bloomwalker, your companions have your back. Kettle Kid, a fiery pot of purification.
But it just slowed, froze, like time holding its breath.
Further. Permafrost at number 6 is basically the long dark on steroids with Frostpunk level bleakness. But your dog makes it slightly less miserable here. You're scavenging, crafting, surviving a frozen apocalypse while your canine companion hauls loot, sniffs danger and probably judges your survival skills at sometimes. It's got base building, vehicle travel, co-op that keeps things fresh, but the real MVP is your four-legged partner. Trust is rare, warmth even rarer. Space Rocket games nailed here the mix of tension and companionship. Hypothermia is real, danger is real, but at least, someone's happy to see you when you stumble back to the camp. It's coming out next year on PC and consoles.
The world ended not in flames, but in silence and frost. Permafrost.
Sliding in at number 7, it is Valor Mortis, a Souls-like with a Napoleonic twist. You play as William, a soldier that's resurrected from his battlefield grave, now packing powers from this weird substance called Nifto-Globin thing. In fact, this alternative history 19th century Europe is just snowy. It's icy, full of undeads just begging to be sliced. The combat's mix of guns, swords, and special abilities called transmutations, pretty much making everything and also the combat stylish. The environments are hauntingly detailed here, the atmosphere is just drenched with dread. Valor Mortis is shaping up to be intense, bloody, and completely different. This one's definitely standing out.
Bianca, where have they taken you? God, hear my vow. Mother, you have given me the courage to be myself. Guide my steps on this forlorn journey.
Moving on to number 8, we have 1348 Ex Voto Itis. Coming early 2026 with PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC, setting the stage in a brutal 14th century Italy. See, you play as a young noble that's trained as a knight, whose village is raided and closest friend disappears. You fight, explore, and survive your way across medieval towns, castles, and mountains, all plagued by bandits and religious zealots. And the best part is that the combat blends historical martial arts with cinematic swordplay, and even letting you switch between stances and unlock combos. Every village, every ruin, and hidden treasure here adds depth to the world, making what is here a dark, stunningly authentic adventure of skill and also survival. It's coming out early next year.
Those that I have failed today, may I one day be worthy of your forgiveness. Bianca, you are all that is left to me.
If crisis takes hold, if all can be retold, how would you...
With that being said, guys, Crysis X is finally locking in release window, and it's landing in the second quarter of 2026. And we also got a new trailer recently, hype it up. This one's all about open world survival, like you're scavenging loot, mowing down zombies and stacking resources to keep your base standing. What's even wild is the crafting scale. Everything from assault rifles to armor, vehicles, even tanks is on the table here. On top of that, survival mechanics like thirst, hunger, and health keep the pressure real. It's gritty, it's grounded, it's shaping up to be one of those sink in 2 hours kind of game. It's coming out possibly early to mid next year.
Maybe the way clears when we walk together. Collaborate.
Hell Let Loose Vietnam is officially on the way, arriving in 2026 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X. Now before you panic, this ain't a replacement for the World War II classic. The fine developers Expression Games and publishers Team 17 stress that Vietnam is a brand expansion, not a sequel, and support for the original Hell Let Loose will also continue. There's now swimming helicopters, new weapons, new game modes, all while keeping the hardcore authenticity players love. The team calls it a chance to expand the franchise without abandoning anything and anyone, shaped directly by what fans have been actually asking for. Check it out.
Whispering wind and rustling grass. I've only ever heard them on recordings. The planet has been slowly wasting away for generations. In the end, we became prisoners of our arcs. My brother was obsessed with the old world. A world where we live...
Honeycomb: The World Beyond, on the other hand, is a surreal open world game with just a ton of discovery. Look, this thing feels like stepping into another dimension, bright, strange, and alive with secrets. You're gonna be wandering around, interact with the world, the odd creatures of the world, and uncover layers of a story that's both emotional and mysterious. Exploration is just the core, but it's not just wandering. Every encounter has meaning, every corner has a hidden narrative, and the world feels handcrafted, colorful, yet super melancholic. And the pacing lets you just soak it all in. It's a game that asks you to pause, look, and think, and it rewards curiosity with beauty, narrative, and intense wonder that lingers after you put it down. I'm pretty sure we've mentioned this thing before, but in case you missed it, Will Follow the Light is basically Dad Simulator Extreme Edition, set across frozen islands and tons of story seas. You're Will, hunting for your lost kid while navigating dog sleds, yachts, and whatever else counts as travel in the northern latitudes. Puzzles in this game are scattered across abandoned islands, and the lighting makes every grim moment in the game feel cinematic. Unreal Engine 5 clearly got a workout. It's touching without being cloying, tense without being a shooter, and I don't know, if you like exploration, storytelling, and feeling genuinely responsible for someone else's survival, this indie adventure promises to tug your heartstrings while keeping your brain busy. Next up at number 12, it is Kaidan. And Kaidan is a cinematic dark fantasy third-person player that puts you right in the middle of a horrified Japanese little town. You play as a seeker brought back from the edge of death after striking a deal with a envoy, and you are tasked with hunting yokais across the lands of this big village. Basically, this game blends single player and multiplayer with cinematic set pieces, a brutal combat, and enemies that are just as shocking as they are deadly, and the reality itself warps, making every encounter tense and unpredictable. Kaidan is shaping up to be a dark, bloody, and visually deep experience, currently planned exclusively for PC via Steam.
Lest you wash up again on my shores, your frail body shatters and broken.
Everwind or Everwind, on the other hand, is lining up for early access in 2026, and it's already shaping up like Minecraft's realistic little cousin with a lot more depth. Look, this game is built on Unreal, a voxel survival sandbox set across procedural islands where you craft, farm, forge, and even sling spells. Co-op lets you and friends share a moving castle base while exploring biomes at different altitudes with, different unique landscapes every single time. It's going to be an ambitious game, creative, and looking ready to stand on its own when it finally hits Steam.
Hope you're fine.
CyberTaxi Lunatic Nights is exactly what happens when Crazy Taxi goes on a full boom and decides gun or a future, not a bug. Look, you're gonna be cruising through Prison City here, picking up passengers while dodging bullets, rival gangs, and the occasional exploding streetlight. Your taxi isn't just a car here. It's a mobile arsenal, and you can upgrade it with rocket launchers because why not? You can step out to fight or stay behind the wheel for, real chaos. It is absurd, violent, and hilarious. This is a city driving nightmare you didn't know you wanted, but now you can't stop thinking about for the city. Going down to number 16, we have Gallipoli. The World War I shooting series getting ambitious, taking you from muddy European trenches to now sun-soaked Middle Eastern beaches. You're storming dunes, towns, and no man's land as either a British or Ottoman soldier, managing squads, suppressive fire, and weapon weight that actually makes you feel like you're hauling a cannon round. This game's got different classes, teamwork, and the AI isn't just filter. They fight like they actually want you dead. Anyway, if you played Verdun or Isanzo, the same game from the Sniper Elite developers, you know what's coming with this one. Perfect for when you want your history lessons with bullets.
I want you to remember that no bastard ever won a war by dying for his country.
He won it by making the other poor dumb bastard die for his country. We have the finest food.
War Mechanic, you see, asks you the question, what if World War II never ended and Kaidan actually became president instead? You're building a base, crafting weapons, and trying not to get shredded by these spider bots that look like rejected Fallout 4 enemies. Exploration is tight, of course satisfying, with scrap collection, vehicle mods, and secret tech giving you enough options to feel like a cunning war machine. It's basically Bioshock meets alternative history with humor and tension all baked in. Chronospace, these developers nailed the mix of strategy, crafting, and combat without overdoing the busy work. If you like thinking and shooting in equal measure, this is one to watch.
Hello? What is this?
Operation Stutter, on the other hand, feels like getting trapped inside a Cold War fever dream with a camera as your only friend. And it's, also judging you, the camera. Look, this game's set in an abandoned nuclear bunker, but it's not about fighting monsters. More about surviving your own head. Every whisper and corridor here messes with what you think is real. Bullets exist, of course, but pulling the trigger feels like a moral exam. Definitely not just horror, it's a statement. Think of it as Soviet tapes, paranoia, and identity crisis rolled into art house despair. No jump scares, just existential dread in like 4K.
Hey! Who are you? I can't breathe! I don't want to die! Please!
Number 19, Project Motor Racing looks like someone took Project Cars 2, fixed the physics hangover, and fed it a steady diet of caffeine and nostalgia. You've got GT3's prototypes, retro beasts like the Mazda 787B screaming around. Like, it's not iRacing serious or Forza arcade, it's somewhere in that sweet middle where fun meets obsession. The visuals slap, the cars sound alive, and the lineup's just pure gearhead bait. If the career mode hits right, this could be the racing sim that finally makes your $400,000 wheel feel justified. Either way, it's coming out November 25 this year. And last but not least, we have Wild Blue, which looks like Star Fox grew up, got anime here, and decided saving the world should involve style points. You're leading a squad through oceans, deserts, caves, shooting waves of enemies and dodging bosses like Grimclaw's elite cronies. The controls are simple, visual is just handcrafted anime, PH level gorgeous, and the branching paths mean every run can actually feel different. It's nostalgic without being lazy, frantic without being chaotic, and it knows exactly what made 90s rail shooters pretty fun. Basically, if you've ever wanted Star Fox and full HD glory, here might just be your fix.
I thought I was done for.